Hey YouTube, you guys are literally always the first person to start going live, so you always have to wait a little bit. And Facebook is going and trolley la. I have my screens all over the place today, so I can't see anything. But that's okay. It's been a minute. It's been a whole month to be precise. Everything's going. Hello Instagram, you are also live. Look at this. It's working. Today we're going to be doing some tarot for June. We went live for the month of May. Wow, that was so long ago already. We're going live the last week of every month to do our forecasts for the month to come. So it was in April the last time we were live, I suppose, for May's forecast. And it has been a heavy-hitting month energetically, I dare say. But that seems to be 2024's themes. I don't know about you guys, but we are talking some deep rebirth, transformation, all the crazy juju, the Aurora Boreas solar flare dynamic. That was hectic. I am flying solo for today's tarot forecast for the month of June. Unfortunately, our dearly beloved Alana is still in the jungles, forests of South America. She is traversing the cosmos as we speak. So, sending her all of the love. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. I have screens everywhere. But I just want to point out in a celebratory moment here that all the lives are working on all of the platforms. If it's your first time catching us live, hi, my name is Melanie. I'm half of Alchemia, and like I just finished saying, Alana is off-grid right now, traversing the jungles. Our tarot forecast, we always rewind the clock to our New Year's year at a glance tarot spread. We did an entire forecast for the year of 2024. We pulled a theme card for each of the months. I know. June's monthly theme card for 2024 is the sun. And darn tootin' are we happy to see a card that brings in some of that jovial, lighthearted play. 2024, as I'm sure you guys can attest to, has been a little bit emotional, a little bit transformational, but that's okay. It's part of the work. It's part of why we're here. It's part of what we do. We transform, we transmute, we keep moving. But that does not mean that we can't admit when we're a little bit excited for some ease and relaxation, which I feel like June might be bringing our way. See if I can pull out the sun card so I can show you the cute little sunshine baby. If I'm being completely honest, the sun card in tarot has forever and always made me think of the baby sun from the Teletubbies. Anybody? It's definitely, I think, 90s. So if you're young and don't know what I'm talking about, move along. But the Teletubbies' sun is a baby's face, literally, and it talks, and it's a little bit traumatic, but in hindsight, it's cute, and I don't think I can find the card. It doesn't really matter. Maybe I'll put it up on screen or something. But yeah, the theme card for the month of June of 2024 is the sun. So what does the sun mean? It's pretty bright. It's one of the luminaries of the sky. And when we talk about working with a tarot card as a theme card for the entire month, we're just talking about some general energetics that are going on and are at play for everyone. So, of course, we can get very specific with tarot. We can do our own personal spreads. We can go to tarot readers and have them do spreads targeted for our whole lives or specific areas of our lives. This June tarot reading, we're just covering the overarching themes. And this theme card for the month of June is the sun. The sun, if you look at the tarot journey, the story of the major arcana that the tarot takes you on, when we reach the sun card, we've actually just made it through some some fear dynamics, some sticky pieces of the journey that have brought up some inner shadows, some challenging times. And the sun really speaks to kind of a celebratory respite. We get to just take a breath and stop being so problem solving, so focused on handling the specifics of an event, of surviving. And we have an opportunity to set and step into a different frequency. We get to work harder at just doing nothing, being. That's the energy that the sun card tends to lock in for us, and it's really refreshing. Oh, hey Facebook, how you doing? Thanks for being here, guys. So yes, we get into the theme card, the sun. We'll expand on it a little bit more here shortly. And then we're going to be pulling both a subconscious card and a conscious card. We work with 3 main cards for every single forecast that we do with the tarot, because I feel like it gives us a fair amount of information with different perspectives, and it gives us a really holistic look so we can be well equipped to take a look at June, to move forward into June, and to have a little bit of a wary weather eye on the forecast and the energies and the things that are coming our way. Like I said, the overarching theme is the sun card. I can't find it, which is putting a damper on my mood, if I'm being honest. But that's okay. Oh, it's because it's right at the front. My goodness. Okay. You guys can see this bad boy? Now you're going to know what I mean when I've talked about get focused, darn it. There we go. You're going to know what I mean when I mention the Teletubbies, right? With the little baby face in the sun. This is the sun card. So when we're working with the sun energy, it's a beautiful card to have for the month of June because we're really stepping into the season of summer. The sun is about being and a lot less about doing. We have been transmuting and alchemizing and shifting and moving through. And for a lot of us, I think the first quarter of 2024 has been really heavy. Not because it's negative or anything, but we are shifting a lot of dense patterns, a lot of things that are deeply ingrained. And when we take a look at this sun card and we welcome in the month of June, we're being presented with an opportunity to tap into more of a restful frequency. It's less about the work and it's more about finding the simple things to enjoy, the simple pleasures of life, the small beauties, the little acts of like gratitude that come up, which is often presented with the sun card. Hi, Jacob. Nice to see you. Oh, it's always so funny when we go live because we have like 4 different channels live at the same time. So I'm answering and talking to different people on different videos, but it's all good. So everything else. So the sun card, stay focused. Don't get distracted. I shouldn't look at the chats. It doesn't make this easier. The sun card is going to be a nice break, especially compared to everything that was going on for the month of May and is still going on in the month of May. June is going to be a lot brighter, a lot easier to navigate. And we'll get a little bit of a closer look at what that specifically means when we pull both the subconscious card and the conscious card. This is like the particular spread that we use for our forecasts because it gives us the look at the, I like to call them the red flags as well as the green flags that show up. It's really easy to like use tarot or any kind of divination to focus in on like negative dynamics that might be more common. But we get both sides of the coin when we ask for them. And then we can have a little bit more of a balanced perspective. So the theme being the sun and having that overarching, restful, joy, luminary aspect, which the sun is in tarot and in our everyday lives. It brings the light. It gives us an opportunity to focus on things that are a bit more easeful. We're not in deep struggle as much anymore when the sun shows up in the spread. It is something that lets us rest. And I feel like June really aligns with that well because we're coming into summer. We're coming into the opportunity to just get outside and literally get in the sun more, to have some fun, to sit, to play, and to just enjoy and find those moments of gratitude, right? Not always be digging and looking and cultivating that deep internal heavy work that can be really tiring after a while. So the subconscious card for the month of June. Oh, hi, Alicia. The subconscious card for the month of June is Page of Cups. This bad boy, if this big camera is going to focus on this cup. So what do we mean when we say subconscious card? These are the energetics, the dynamics, and the things that we are going to be working with that are going on kind of behind the scenes. And this doesn't necessarily mean it's coming from you, but it could be coming at you. So life could be presenting you with these kinds of energies, these dynamics, these people that might be showing up, or it's something that might be coming from you. So it could be an internal dynamic, maybe an inner child that's come out to play that you haven't seen in a while or something. But subconscious just means that this is the energy that is giving and at play and being woven into your life in really subtle ways, something that we're going to want to be aware of. I often refer to it as a red flag card because humans have the tendency to associate things that we are unaware of with potentially negative or things that might catch us up, things that we might trip on. Being a Page of Cups. So page just kind of infers a little level of naivety, which is not necessarily bad. Some people might say ignorant, but the energy of the card or the suit or the status of the page is very young energy. They're not the queen. They're not established. They don't really necessarily know what they're doing. They're new to this. And they're the cups position, which is emotions. Especially in the subconscious card, this can often look like feeling really vulnerable or maybe a little bit insecure in a new area of our lives. Starting a new project, meeting people, having to be and foster and kind of hone a certain level of confidence within yourself so that you can kind of take up space without imploding. It can talk about the self-consciousness that comes from being vulnerable about something you deeply care about, something new. A lot of the times, cups in particular can be associated with romance or specifically romance, people, because it's the emotion realm. But we know that emotions go into every single area of our lives. So don't forget to be aware of the dynamics in your career or at home or in your friendships and in your relationships. Where is being vulnerable maybe sticky for you? Where is there an opportunity to show up in a new way that you haven't before? When we have both the dynamic of the sun being our overarching theme for the month of June, and then we have the subconscious card and the dynamic of the Page of Cups, we might be stepping into a position where we are no longer wanting to fulfill a certain role, and we're not used to having people see us being in a different role, right? So if we're always used to being the problem solver in a situation, it can feel really vulnerable when we show up in that situation as a different version of ourselves. It can be nerve-wracking to risk allowing people to see those other parts of us. And it can be challenging for ourselves not to fall into similar patterns. So up until now in 2024, we've had a lot of big transformational energy, big tumultuous energy, there's been solar eclipses and planets going conjunct, and honestly, the astrology has been a whirlwind. So the fact that we have all been shaken to our core to a little bit of a degree here is both refreshing and tiring. A lot of us are coming out of a period of time where we're maybe just a little burnt out or a little exhausted. So when you combine the sun and the subconscious card of the Page of Cups, we might be too tired to perform how we used to perform, to fill some imaginary role that really doesn't ring true for us anymore. And a lot of those kinds of dynamics might be falling away, and we're being called to show up in a new way. And that can be very vulnerable. But at the same time, if you look at the Page of Cups, he's excited. He's proffering his cup willingly, right? This is not necessarily indicating something torturous, but this dynamic that we are talking about here being subconscious. So if it comes from us or we're presented in with it from the world or the universe or other people in our lives that are showing up this way, this could be someone who's trying something new, being willing to pursue something and not know a lot about it, being in that position of kind of that fool energy, young and naive and discovering what is going on. Oh, hey guys. Sorry. Live was dinging me. All right. So what else? What else do I want to say about the Page of Cups? So one of my favorite parts about doing this kind of spread for a forecast is you have the sun energy that's going on the whole month. Then you've got the subconscious energy, and our subconscious card is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups can also be sometimes like, if we're looking, it just feels really young. It feels really naive, really fresh, and really like in awe, especially with the combination of the sun. So for red flags, things to look out for, try not to allow yourself to feel too insecure when you're trying something new, right? You got to trust that your alignment is accurate, that you've gotten to the place that you've gotten to for a reason, that you're in alignment, that you're where you're supposed to be. So allowing yourself some grace and to tap into that core stability so you're not so shaky while you're doing some of those new things could be one of the calls of the Page of Cups. It's definitely new energy, and it's definitely in the emotional realm. Having it be subconscious usually means that it might involve some of our triggers, maybe new emotions coming up because we're no longer in that fight or flight response. We're in more of a being state, and we're not so focused of doing. We have new emotions that are showing up that we weren't in a place where we could experience fully before. So now that we have the time and we've slowed down enough and we're in the present moment with the Sun card, the Page of Cups might mean that there is some new emotions coming up to be processed. Could also be something as simple as new love or a new interest or a new emotionally driven pursuit. Remember that cups really lock in the emotional dynamic of this, of tarot itself, of our lives. Is representative of all of those like core, deep, true inner world workings of that watery goodness and our feelings. So new feelings, a bit naive, a bit unknown, but that kind of comes with after being put through the ringer. It's feeling almost like, if you've been in a plant medicine ceremony, it's like when you come back home and you're feeling raw or exposed to the world. Like you're just a fresh little baby and you're like, oh, the world feels really big and intense right now. And you're just feeling a little vulnerable and raw. That's okay. That's part of the process of what happens after we're doing all of those big deep dives, all of that big tumultuous work that we've been working through for 2024. It is really a natural point in the journey to reach this restful, tender place. June feels tender. That's a good keyword. June feels tender. Yeah, it's Alana and I were talking before she left the jungle about how these forecasts feel like we're always like, oh, so much transformation. Oh, so much transformation. And at this point in 2024, I'm just tired of the word transformation and tumultuous and revolutionary. I got to expand my vocabulary because truly the whole world, including all of the individuals in it, i.e. us, have been getting put, oh, the card has been chosen, have been getting put through the ringer. And I'm ready for June's energy of the sun and the Page of Cups. I'm ready for a cosmic rest. And look at that. We've got the Hangman. Come on, camera, focus. Sorry, Instagram, you'll have to wait 2 seconds. I can't focus and show two people at the same time. The Hanged Man. So what was I just saying about cosmic rest? The sacred pause? I mean, the Hanged Man is that in a nutshell. There, boom, the live is over. I've said all that I need to say. What does a cosmic pause mean? So this is the conscious energy, the conscious card that we're working with. And when we pull a conscious card in this spread, these are the energies that we're going to want to intentionally cultivate. If someone else in our life or the universe or a work dynamic it's externally presented to us via the universe, that's great. We're going to want to lean on that energy. Or maybe it's an archetype or an energy that we see within ourselves or could cultivate within ourselves, and we want to pull on that and work with that and embody that for the time to come. That's what we mean by the conscious card, the energies that we want to intentionally engage with, foster, and work with for the month of June. So we've got the overarching theme of the Sun card. For those of you who are just popping in on the live now, June's theme is the Sun card. Our subconscious card that we're working with, which is the Page of Cups. And now we're pulling the conscious card, the Hanged Man. We've talked about a bit of the journey thus far. We're a little tired. We've gotten through this deep tumultuous transformation, these excavations, and we're finally at a place where we can rest and allow some of those deeper emotions to come up, to be processing some of those feelings, and to have a big sacred pause. Sacred pauses are so important, and especially on my plant medicine journeys, respecting the pause, holding space for the pause, looking for the pause, realizing that some of the most potent and incredible magic happens within the sacred pause has been a lesson, a teaching, dynamic that has just inundated my life ever since it became present in my life. Does that make sense? The sacred pause is basically, in my perspective and how I view this Hanged Man card, especially in relationship to this tarot spread for the month of June, is this call to alignment, this honoring of divine timing and of a sacred cycle that is beyond you, and respecting the fact that you too move through a cycle, many cycles, in fact, small micro cycles from day to day, hour to hour, week to week, to these big, massive seasonal cycles, yearly cycles, monthly cycles, cosmic cycles, galactic cycles. The sacred pause is such a pivotal part. And in a world where we are so conditioned to be successful, productive, consistently moving, putting the importance and the sacredness and the potency back on that pause can really revolutionize the magic of how you move in the world. And this is the gift that I believe June is offering us. In combination between the Hanged Man and the Sun, this is about finding those precious moments in the month of June to allow yourself to fully be in gratitude and enjoy. And then from that place, reevaluate what is showing up for you in your life. The Hanged Man is literally hanging upside down. So if you want to talk about viewing life with a different perspective, if you want to talk about seeing things from a different angle, if you want to turn your life upside down so that you can understand different dynamics and different energies that you're being presented with, this is a great energetic time to do so, especially because the Sun seems to kind of put us in this safe, optimistic bubble. Now, that does not mean that there's not going to be challenging or dense or hard to navigate energies and things that are going to be presented to us and through us in the month of June. But what it does mean is that there's a specific flavor of bringing light to those things. There's an optimistic movement and motion and easefulness that is brought into the equation that maybe we've been lacking a little bit for the previous months. Now, again, to clarify, this does not mean that June is going to be easy breezy, beautiful, cover girl by any means. We all have a lot going on. This world is transforming. I should have just a transforming tally, and every time I say that word in these forecasts, we get another ding. But in combination with the Hanged Man, the Page of Cups, this feels like a very tender energy. Hold space and give yourself grace to process and then catch up with yourself in this present moment, right? We can get, emotionally speaking and physically speaking and mentally speaking, we can get hung up in certain areas of our lives when we are doing that deep work, when we are trying to view life as ceremony and show up fully and presently. We can get hung up mentally on specific things, or our emotions can get frozen in a previous time. And it can take us a while to fully process and integrate and become full in the moment and in the present. And this seems to be the energetics for the month of June. It's an opportunity to show up and allow yourself that time to become fully embodied and aligned in this moment. You have that overarching optimism and gentleness that the sun can bring, that light, that warmth, that presence of mind, body, spirit in the moment. Imagine sitting just on a warm beach. When you close your eyes, you can hear the seagulls or the birds, maybe kids are laughing off in the distance, and you're very much so embodied in the moment. The sun can really lock that energy in for the month of June, which is why I'm so excited that it's the theme card. But then having the Hanged Man, he gives you a call to reevaluate and a call to contemplate with that undertone of optimism. So find those moments and fill them with gratitude. Find those times and be like, wow, it has been a rough couple of months. That's okay. Where are we now? And what do I need to do to get all aspects of myself and of my life integrated and into this present moment so then I can decide how I'm going to move forward from a whole place, from a place where I'm not emotionally stuck from when I was 15 or mentally distracted by the conversation I had with my boss at work. We can become so fragmented, and having the subconscious card being the Page of Cups for the month of June, there is potential for a lot of those feelings that we aren't used to expressing to really bubble up. And this is what happens when we honor the sacred pause. This is what happens when we slow down long enough and aren't distracted long enough to allow ourselves to feel things again. And it sounds so simple, yet it's one of the things that we often struggle with, slowing down long enough to let ourselves catch up with our own selves. What have you been feeling? What feelings have you been avoiding by staying busy for the last 2 months? And we can avoid feeling things by doing spiritual things as well. Doing spiritual practices to the point where you are so busy you don't feel the feelings that you're trying to process so you can get them out of the way is just as much as a coping strategy or an escapism technique as getting shit-faced on the weekends. Same, but different. Overall, June's energy is looking like a nice little fresh cup of not so hard, and I'm willing to take it. Hi, Chris, on Instagram. Well, I am sad that I don't have Alana here for our June forecast with the tarot, but she is coming back from the jungle very shortly, and we will be getting back into regularly scheduled programming very shortly. I hope that our June forecast serves you all, and I know that it has been rough, so we can all just collectively allow ourselves to acknowledge that there has been a lot of feelings going on, and they don't have to technically be bad or good feelings. There's just been a lot happening. There's been cosmic shifts, astrological alignments, solar flares, eclipses, equinoxes, the whole 9 yards. The world's going topsy-turvy. And the best way that we can process a lot of that dynamic is by slowing ourselves down, giving us some room to feel, room to exist. The sun calls us to not focus so much on what we are doing, but just to lean into being for the month of June. We're going to slow down for summertime here. We're going to let the sensitive Page of Cups show us some of our feelings and get excited, maybe have some of those tender moments and vulnerable dynamics that can come up when we're new to expressing feelings or we're in a new area of our life and we're feeling new feelings for the first time, whether they're excitement or fear. Doesn't matter what the emotion is. And then we're going to honor the sacred pause that the hangman calls us to experience. A lot can happen in a sacred pause. I hope that you all enjoy your sacred pause to the best of your ability. And we will see you all back here probably tomorrow for another live where we are going to dive into a little bit of the astrology. It's always fun to take a look at the tarot. Sometimes we switch up the order. We'll do Gene Keys astrology and tarot. This month, we decided to hit it off with some tarot first because why not? So tomorrow we will dive into a bit of the astrology for the month of June to come. knock on wood, I feel like I've been saying this for a few months now. I think it's smoothing out. I think it's a little less crazy. We'll see how it goes. We'll get into it tomorrow. Until then, thank you all for being here. If you caught us live, that's awesome. Of course, we put all of these videos up so you can watch them whenever you want. Tap in, see how June's going to go. All the goodness. All the goodness. All right. Bye-bye, Instagram. I'm going to hang up on y'all first. I guess it's not hanging up. I always forget how to do this part. Boom. And of course, we've got YouTube and Facebook. Thank you all for tuning in, hanging out, and chit-chatting about the tarot. We will see you shortly tomorrow.